Hey there, Roger and I are here again, and I'm with the legendary ED, Lisa Bibb. How are you today?
I'm doing very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful.
Quite possibly the quietest executive director.
Absolutely.
Yes,
I'm
very reserved.
Shy wallflower, very inhibited.
Absolutely.
Rarely get out in public.
Tell us, what organizations do you represent currently?
Currently, I am the ED for CAMP, Carolinas Association, GAP, the Georgia Association, and PPAM, which is the Midwest.
That's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And how did you find yourself into that situation?
Quite by accident.
Like everybody in this industry.
I know. Who knew it existed?
It's like, $25 billion, where did it come from?
That's a cool matchbook. Wow. I was ready to make a change back in December of 2009, I think. And the executive director for CAMP was planning to resign. She'd already given notice, and they were on the hunt. And she was a good friend of mine, and I knew several people with the organization. And started out there, and about a year and a half later, I was asked to come out and talk to the people at the Midwest. And then Doug Burns, who I hired when I was president of GAP to be executive director, decided to retire. And it's kind of like going back home.
Sounds like the rest is history.
Yeah. My office is kind of fun. It's this big L shape, and I have to use the logos as a screensaver, so I know.
That's perfect, though, right?
Yeah, I know who's going where.
That's great.
And then my own little personal computer's in the back, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4.
So, Lisa, Michael and I, as we've been doing these, there's been some themes that have come out, and if we do the editing right, we'll set it up in a way so that people will be able to understand kind of what we saw.
Uh-huh.
But as I was saying to you off camera, you're in the interesting position from an executive director spot to see how associations are similar and dissimilar. Can you speak a little bit about the similarities you see and then some of the dissimilarities that you see as well?
Similarities, I think for the most part, the volunteers are there for very good reasons.
Mm-hmm.
They do want to be there to help and do things to grow the association and become more involved. And I was in a class yesterday, and somebody said, well, they use it as a resume builder, and some people do.
Sure.
But for the most part, everybody is very genuine in what they want to do, accomplish, and work on the team. The board sizes are different in each one. I understand that there are some other associations where they have board meetings that last a really long time. Hour and a half, my ADD kicks in, and I got to go. I'm sorry.
Yeah, absolutely.
But for the most part, they're really good. I mean, we get a lot accomplished in about an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And before I went to camp, they did have some problems with the board meetings running too long. But since I started coming to LEW and learning better things and better board management, knowledge-based management for the board meetings is absolutely critical.
Absolutely critical.
You know, I would like to talk about something because it just topped my head, and I've been hearing about it. The Leadership Women's Conference, you throw something together like that, your own version of it, correct?
I
Tell us a
do.
little bit about that.
It's very different from the PPAIs, and
Okay.
that's why it started out named Women's Leadership Conference, but I changed it to Conference and Retreat because we cover a lot of business topics, industry-related stuff, but we also have discovered that if it's a mind-body sort of experience, that if you're not taking better care of yourself, then
I'm thinking
you
a
are
lot
not.
of kumbaya going on. You guys
Not
just
really. There's a lot of wine drinking, I can tell you that. We run out every year. It's crazy, the suite. We have pajama parties and
Wine sponsors needed.
that's it.
Make
We'll
her
even
job
put your
easier.
sticker on the label.
Contact her.
But we've had nutritionists come in. We've had
That's really
a
nice.
yoga instructor come in. And,
Wow.
then we had a lady come in and talk about business etiquette. because for some women in the room, I really hoped you would pay attention to that.
She
A
doesn't.
little bit of an eye opener.
Yes. And then a lot of the speakers that we do have come in are attendees as well. So if they are there to enjoy the conference, but then they have their segments of what they're presenting.
Do you do any events similar for all three organizations? Do you have similar events where you do, like, for trade shows? Like, talk a little bit about the different type of events you do, and that's kind of for your membership base.
GAP does 2 shows a year. The first one is a really big one, and it is an end user show.
Okay.
And it's an all-day event. It's attached to Gap University, which we have the day before, which is a really intense day-long, spend 25 minutes in a room with a supplier and move. Camp has 2 shows a year. We have the distributor only in the spring, and then end user in the fall. And this year, we're doing something a little bit different. We've added the education element, like Gap University, on the day before.
That's a good example how you kind of, maybe that's because you've done so well with Gap University, you can take it over to here.
Yeah. And they needed, you can't keep doing the same thing. I
No.
mean, that's the whole issue I see with a lot of other regionals. If you can't look like every other tabletop that's coming through town. The traveling shows, it just all looks the same, and the distributors don't think of the regional as being the Mac Daddy.
Well, anything other than just another one.
Right.
Right? And
Exactly.
many times this discussion comes up off camera. It's the first time we've really had somebody talk about it on camera, is, you know, the trade show as the economic engine for the association is a precarious situation.
It is. It is.
And so you absolutely have to differentiate. You know, you've done a really magnificent job of seeking out other ways to find people. And I can remember our conversation about Facebook marketing and the advertising that you'd done. You want to talk a little bit about what you did there and how that worked out for you?
It was really interesting. It was one of those kind of scary, shaky moments. Do I
Yeah.
push enter now?
Sure. I mean, you actually spent money with Facebook.
I did.
Right. And
I did.
Not many people can say that they've done that.
That's
And I
actually
haven't bought
really
their
neat.
stock either. So. but
I was
that's
thinking
about
about doing that. How did that work out?
It was really interesting. I offered, if anybody mentioned the ad, if they had seen it on Facebook, when they got to the show, they got a premium. And I had a couple of people do that, but I think based on what I was trying to do, and it was just kind of an infancy, you know, throw it against the wall, see if it sticks.
Yeah, I got you. That's all we do here.
That's all right.
In this room, at least.
Yeah.
That's what all that is. Because the cost was so minimal, and you can bid how much you actually want to spend, you know, during what peak times, or, you know, how many times you want it to rotate through a page or whatever. So it was just a really neat way to specifically reach people in the industry, because that's, if you plugged in that name or keywords or whatever for the search, it popped right in their pages.
Nice. Did you get good results from it?
Pretty good. The experience was very interesting, and I would do it again.
That's the question. If you do
I
it
think
again.
I'd do it again,
Yeah.
especially for like the end user show.
Oh yeah, because
This
that
is-
could be huge advertising, get more end users
Yeah.
in the game.
We're doing the end user show at the Charlotte Motor Speedway in the Speedway Club, which
Ooh.
when I first thought about it and thought, oh, I just want to go take a look, because I'm thinking NASCAR. Oh
Wait,
my
do that
God,
One more
this-
time. Just one more time. Just do that for me.
It was dark wood paneling and chandeliers and marble, and oh my Lord,
It was beautiful.
beautiful. And it's a huge draw to the people that are into that, and, you know, who thought about, I'd like to stop in there, but I don't know.
Right.
Yeah. I don't
Right.
know if I
There's
wanna
really
go.
not, you know,
But
you're not getting
everybody's-
me into a place like that otherwise.
Right.
I mean, it's not my deal, right? So,
Yeah.
but consequently, you'd like to see the venue, right? So it makes perfect sense to me.
And the Speedway Club is a restaurant, a full-blown restaurant. It overlooks the Speedway. But there's not always cars running. They
Sure.
do this great light show in the Christmas time, and you get to drive down on the track and go see all.
Have you done that?
I was there in the daytime. I didn't get to go do it because I live in Lawrenceville, Georgia.
I can read the name tag.
Okay. You're doing good. Read the back. That's what's-
Yeah, right?
So
Sorry about
that
that.
makes it challenging.
We kind of did those badges.
You did? Can you attach a cheater glasses hole right there so we can a magnifier?
I said I'm sorry.
Okay. I'm old.
So what's the next coolest thing besides that you got going on between now and the end of the year?
Gap has a holiday showcase, and what we do is go to an Embassy Suites.
Okay.
The exhibitors all pay to participate, but their room cost is included.
Okay.
We were able to negotiate with the hotel this year for the one night, but have a 5 o'clock checkout the next day.
There you go.
So we can have our show hours from 10 until 4, then they have an hour
That is
break
a,
down
that
and
is
get
a
out.
big deal to supply. I'm telling you, as personally, I always got to get my stay extended, and usually they charge me like 60, 70 bucks
Mhm.
extra, and it
Right.
bothers me because I feel like I'm wasting
Yeah,
money.
yeah. So they made us a really good deal on the rooms
Nice.
to do that because we blocked 50 rooms.
There you
go.
We have 2 floors.
You got power now.
Yeah.
coming to the table.
So, and it sold out almost immediately. And I've got a wait list. And yes, it's a hotel, and yes, we could add more, but even the show hours being from 10 to 4, there's still people. I mean, they don't have to show up at 10.
Sure.
They can come in at lunch and stay until 3 or whatever.
Right.
And some of these poor guys, to have to break down in an hour and be out of there, it is going to be a challenge.
They always jealous of me because I have a 2-minute setup.
Yeah. Michael has the best booth setup.
It's it's just amazing. And I always wave goodbye to everybody while they're doing it. Bye, guys. I'm that guy. Like, I'm gonna go get a coffee. No, do you want any? Oh, okay.
Well, Lisa, you're one of my favorite people. I love you.
I love you too.
You got more energy, sister, than
Oh.
That's a megawatt smile you got going over there too. So we love you a lot.
There's one thing I wanted to ask you. How many years have you been coming to LEW?
I don't do that.
Oh, 8 probably.
8 years. EDs try to pick your brain all the time. I would imagine. If not, they need to. Do you
Some
get
of them really don't like me
Well,
because
you know,
what I do.
Yeah,
I didn't say that. Edit that.
You get out of my territory.
Mowing my lawn.
That is not getting edited. No, but what is it like? I mean, I bet you're a solid pillar as an ED, and I could see you as a role model in this industry. What is that like to be that kind of person?
Very humbling, and I don't see myself that way. I know what I know.
Did you see yourself last night? They were all gravitated towards you. It was awesome.
What?
When we did the video shoot?
Oh, because
You don't remember kicking me out? You don't remember escorting me out the door?
those blackouts. Oh my God! I mean, they come back
Excuse me,
on
sir.
me.
You need to leave. Who is this? No, it's good.
No.
No, but it's a really interesting. I'm glad we had some chance to talk with you. I mean, you got tons of knowledge, and it's almost like we don't have enough time to really
Right.
pick your brain enough.
We'll be back at you.
What's
Yeah.
left? Y'all come on.
Come on over.
Thank you, darling.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you very much.